Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us at Sweet World. Now, today we're going to talk about one of the biggest challenges behind fast-growing brands, and that's keeping up with the complexity of EDI and order management while still running lean. Now, too often, companies are forced to use complicated iPaaS solutions or custom codes that require a full development team just to stay compliant. But what if you could skip the iPaaS, bring all of the EDI inside of NetSuite, and start trading with partners in days, not months? Well, that's exactly what Faherty did. They're a rapidly scaling clothing brand with over 70,000 SKUs and 86 locations. And of course, they did it. With Orderful's NetSuite connector, they not only simplified their integrations, but also eliminated chargebacks, reduced manual errors, and positioned themselves to continue to scale without adding operational overhead. Now, I'm really excited because we're going to be talking with Katie Houston Matthews today. She's the Enterprise Systems Manager over at Faherty, and she actually led this transformation herself without a technical background. Katie's story is very powerful and an example of how the right tools can empower your business and free up your teams and build the confidence in managing good old EDI within NetSuite itself. Now, let's dive in with Katie now. Welcome everyone to Sweet World, and thank you so much for joining Orderful and of course Faherty with us today as we dive into an EDI journey, of course, more of integrations and of how we're working with NetSuite to make sure that our customers can integrate quickly and trade as soon as possible. And with me today, of course, is Katie Houston Matthews, Enterprise Systems Manager over at Faherty. Katie, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun, I think, educational moment for those watching, and of course, an example of how your customers can look at NetSuite and Orderful in the future as well. But let's start with an amazing growing brand like yourself and Faherty. Tell us about your role at the company and a little bit of your background with enterprise systems as well.
Okay. At Faherty, I am currently the Enterprise Systems Manager, and basically I control all back ends of our systems, building off of NetSuite, a few other platforms, iPaaS platforms, and of course, Orderful. Orderful has been great for our new EDI process and building a strong foundation within NetSuite as we rebuilt and rebranded NetSuite, our NetSuite instance.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, and the reason we really wanted to do this chat with you and the company as well is because we work with a lot of companies like yourself, these really fast-growing brands that are taking on and have these small workforces and still looking to grow as well. I'd love for you to kind of touch on the operational aspect of Faherty and what makes you unique compared to your other competitors and brands out there.
I think Faherty is a strong family company. It has amazing values. We have very empowering core values. We focus on sustainability. We focus on better together, and not just our team members, but our systems. Everything runs better together. And if we can get our team members to talk and we can get our systems to talk, that really puts us in the forefront of fashion.
Most definitely. I mean, especially in the fashion world, right? Part of the buying process is not just, of course, a great quality good, but most often it's how quickly can it get here? When is it going to be on the shelf? Is it in front of the buyer when the buyer wants to receive that product? And I love that. I love the family aspect too, and the togetherness point, because I think when we get into this conversation, especially just technology in general, it's not just about building great tech, but building the great support system behind it, right? To make sure that that brand people like yourself, right, can grow too. So let's dive into a little bit before Orderful and Faherty met. What was your NetSuite and EDI environment like when you first started?
I've been with Faherty for about 2 years, and honestly, the systems needed a lot of love. I come from a background also within different systems, NetSuite being the core. So I was really opening, my horizon to what could better Verity's NetSuite instance and what we could build to grow stronger. Um, A lot of the systems I've worked with have been very manual and hard, and I'm not a computer science major. That is not my background. That is not what I'm educated in. I'm educated in people, and I fell into systems, and I found that I love doing the work. I love being the person that makes things happen, corrects errors, finds the problems, problem solver. But without having that strong computer science background, I really need and love tools that are easy for the user because I understand the concept. I come from the beauty industry, which was a lot of skincare, hair care, and then came into fashion. So my mind works that way. And then when I've learned the intricate details of systems, it provided me more knowledge. Orderful has also been a tool like that. So when I came in and things were a little disarray, um, Orderful allowed me to see how easy it was to connect things, to map things, things that you might have to have a developer, background to deal with because you're going to have to code and find all these little intricate details that I can't find, that my insight doesn't give me the knowledge. So Orderful helps me build my confidence and builds my knowledge along the way.
Like that you like touched on the nuances of moving product, and especially being a part of a retail brand like Faherty too, right? It's these nuances, these different product types, these different type of retailers. That's what makes EDI, I think, integration so interesting. Just talking even to our founder the other day on this, like it's something that needs guidelines, but everyone has different guidelines set, right? Which makes it hard for people who aren't technologists, right, to figure it out.
We have a lot of our wholesale retailers that obviously their specs are different. So this retailer may need a whole different set of specs than this retailer, and that's where Orderful comes in. Instead of having to maybe map and draw lines into something called N104 or, things like that, that you really have to read the specs to understand, Orderful really puts it kind of in a side by side comparison and in everyday language. So if you're not naturally in a coded mindset, you can go in and say, "Oh, it says move it to here because this is the shipping address." Because like you said, if our customers don't get our product in a timely manner, which starts in systems and, the order from sales order to invoice, it has to get there. If it doesn't go through our systems, it's never going to get shipped.
Mhm. Definitely. No, when you're looking to evaluate a technology partner, especially one that you know is gonna be a part of the overall growth and effort that is put behind it, with Faherty as well, what are you evaluating? What do you especially maybe working with Orderful, what should people out there today say to themselves, "Okay, if I'm looking for someone to help me with the EDI, what type of company value should I be looking for? What type of customer service and what technical talent should I need?"
I think obviously definitely customer service is at the forefront. I think you need that help into finding out how to learn any new system. But what is super important to me is the user friendliness of it. Orderful is very user friendly. When you go into the Orderful platform, on the left side, it has all these training docs that you can sit there and learn. You can educate yourself, but you also have your account manager and um, hold on a second. What is that person called? No, your support.
There
You
you
also
go.
have your account manager and your support team that will help you out with anything along the way. But the fact of the matter is that it is user friendly, that you are able to do it yourself. And I think that's what we all want. We all want to have it in house. We don't want to outsource anything anymore. We want to be able to take it under our wings, under our control, manage it ourselves, and make it happen. So, right now, I'm currently testing the new Orderful Connector within NetSuite, and we've downloaded it in our sandbox. We are getting ready to test it moving forward live with, different orders and things of the such. So, I'm really looking forward to doing that. With that being said, I have a whole team that's right there helping me test it. So this is something new and it's a big deal. You can't just move from one connector to another connector and think that nothing's going to happen with your order flow. I would love that if it was as simple as waving a wand and pushing a magic button, but Orderful is pretty close. It's not. It's not. Nothing's, pushing a button or waving a magic wand, but it is very close. And I am super excited as I dive into this Orderful connector, what I'm seeing thus far.
I'd like to touch on maybe those instances where things need improvement. What have what kind of customer service requirements or what should people be looking for in those conversations? Because you're right, things are always going to come up. So, how do you evaluate that process even prior to joining an Orderful or someone like us?
Well, first of all, I think there's nothing too small. I think sometimes we get in our mind like, "Oh, I should know how to do that. I should really know how to do that. Let me chat GPT that. Let me Google that," that type of things. But a lot of times they're simple questions and they give you simple answers. So really build your roadmap. Go into any platform that you're looking to go to. That's what we did with Orderful and say, this is my list. This is my dream plan. What can you give me? Ask for everything. If you get 90%, you're already there. You can find the other 10% on your own. But Orderful is going to give you a strong foundation, and you're really going to be able to build off of that. But number one, customer support, adaptability. Adaptability is another huge thing that Orderful is changing to what we need. They're going that extra step and seeing that we want this. Like we started off without the connector and now the connector is available for testing. So we're getting super excited. We feel very special within the Orderful family. And I'm really excited for what's happening with the connection between Orderful and NetSuite.
It's funny because prior to this, I wrote a lot about technology in the industry, and you have those legacy performers that oftentimes aren't adaptable. And honestly, their business models make it so they can't really be adaptable in some regards. So I love that you brought it up that way, right? Bring your absolute dream to the table and be ready to have a conversation. But at the same time, realize, the partner you're choosing and how much you're valued within their organization. And I think, it's interesting being here for even just a couple months because I see that in a lot of our engineers and a lot of our product leaders as well. It's the innovation comes from our customers and comes from the developers themselves instead of this top-down approach. And I'm happy to hear that you're seeing the output of that.
I think that another thing that is super exciting is there's there's so much knowledge out there, and to know that you can grow with a company and they're honing in. Orderful is honing in on EDI. There's a lot of platforms that are out there that do everything, and that's great. And that has its place. I'm not saying it doesn't. But when your big ticket is wholesale and EDI, this is huge because they're able to focus on exactly what you need. That is what we're all looking for in an expert. That is Orderful's expertise is EDI. So it's nice that there's a focal point. Like I said, there's a place for everybody in the bigger picture, but there's a few times within systems that we do need to step away and go into someone who expertly supports this.
Love that. And you talked about, managing that EDI in-house. What does that do for you? What wins does that bring to your everyday and operational outputs?
Well, when I get to handle things myself, it's job security. I mean, it's just like, "Hey, team, look what I can do," right? I mean, there's an element of job security. If it wasn't user friendly, they would have to hire someone that wasn't me, And, if they needed someone to write code and write scripts and do all these things, I can do that a little bit. I can adjust things. I can go in and find some problems. But this helps me to be better, and it also frees up time so I'm able to be there for the team for other issues. That's a huge thing. I'm not wasting a whole lot of time and just building and doing what we exactly need inside a system. I'm able to help with the day-to-day task of access and, who needs this or what role needs that. So, or any other fires that come on a day-to-day basis. This is one less fire I have to put out every day.
Logistics and supply chain, right, and keeping all that moving is a constant fire. So, I'm sure
Constant.
you're right.
And the more
Some
you grow, yeah, fairly exponentially, and we need great systems. We used to be able to be good, systems would work, but now we need great systems. We need exceptional systems. We need an exceptional team.
I love that. And you're not, cheating in any way. You're focused on, like you said, finding those partners that are going to continue being agile, like Faherty has, and continue to grow and stay innovative through that too. To really, okay, wrap this up for everyone watching today. How does this integration especially help you be successful in what we all love during this time of the year, right around the corner is the holiday season, holiday peak? Why is it so important that you look into these type of upgrades within your tech stack before that good old rush hits?
Well, as we all know, holiday season comes around and we are just bombarded with orders. That's the dream. We want to be bombarded with orders. But if connectors aren't working, if systems aren't in place, they're going to fail. And when those orders fail, and I've been there, when those orders fail, you're doing a lot of manual data entry, manual correction within our instances. And the fewer errors we have, the easier it is to have. You're going to have errors, but I've been at companies at times where we've had thousands of errors, you know, in a given day during the holiday season. And last year we had an exceptional holiday season at Faherty and it was smooth running. And that is obviously due to our whole team, but it is definitely part of what the systems we put into place and the growth we've done over the last 2 years.
I love that. Uh, Maybe one more to wrap this up for you. Fast growing brand, fast scaling operations. Any overall advice, doesn't even have to be technological, but any advice that you would give those watching today? Because we have worked with a lot of those type of brands, those, trending brands growing fast. NetSuite does as well. What should you look out for, especially to scale without having to always be concerned with the headcount falling with that scale as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Never settle. There's always something great out there. There's always something bigger and better than what you're doing. And in technology, we have to be willing to adapt and grow. Ask the questions, ask the hard questions. Go find what fits with you and your team and your company.
I love that. For everyone watching, stay tuned after this. We'll have a wonderful demo for you so you can see, of course, how this works in action. And of course, we'll have a QR code too so that you can click that and talk with one of our reps here at Orderful as well. But honestly, Katie, I wanted to say thank you for being a wonderful customer, but even more so, just being a part of a big growing brand. There's plenty of people out there that want to make sure they can get your product, and you are one of those people that doesn't always get, the pat on the back that you deserve for making sure that happens. So let's all give Katie a pat on the back for the work that she's done for the company. And for everyone watching, make sure you reach out to us, and thank you again for your support.
Managing EDI across disconnected systems? That's yesterday's problem. Now, with Orderful integrated into NetSuite, you can handle every EDI transaction seamlessly, automatically, and all in one place. We're not just embedded, we're built for NetSuite, meeting the highest standards for performance and reliability. It's fast, certified, and works where your team already does. Get EDI compliant within minutes. Go live with new trading partners in under 9 days. Orderful's pre-built connectors eliminate the need for custom coding and cut onboarding time dramatically. Use pre-built connectors for all the most critical EDI documents, such as purchase orders, 850s, order acknowledgments, 855s, advanced shipping notices, 856s, and many more. Get real-time validation against trading partner requirements. Resolve errors fast with self-service tools. No EDI consultants needed. No hidden fees or change requests. Orderful's modern EDI handles updates fast, helping you avoid costly downtime. Automate compliance and streamline your order-to-cash cycle. Whether you're going through an ERP transformation, facing a trading partner backlog, or just done with the high costs and slow onboarding of legacy EDI, Orderful changes the game. Unlike traditional providers, Orderful doesn't charge for every customization or change, and partners typically see ROI within months, not years. With one integration per transaction type for all your trading partners, a pre-connected network, and predictable pricing, scaling with Orderful is simple. Orderful adapts quickly to changes in your business, making it far more nimble than legacy solutions. And it all happens inside NetSuite, with total control and visibility. No middleware required. Don't just take it from us. Our customers are seeing real results. From growing SMBs to scaling mid-market teams, Orderful makes EDI easy at every stage of growth. Orderful plus NetSuite. Certified, connected, from SMB to enterprise. Let's simplify EDI for good.